Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's Lean Publishing Tip of the Day video, where I'm going to be talking about our new minimal editor. It's a brand new writing mode on Leanpub that we're very proud of. Um, just as usual, for the first couple of minutes of these videos, we just do housekeeping. So if you're watching the recording, which is going to be most people, please skip ahead to the 2-minute mark, and you should see everything get started sort of properly then. In the meantime, as always, you can check out our website at leanpub.com. You can easily create books there. You can check out our Author Help Center online, which is also easy to find. If you're new to Leanpub or you're new to self-publishing, we've got, I think, over 1,000 articles there now, answering all kinds of questions that we've been asked over the years with walkthroughs and tutorials and all kinds of stuff like that. And of course, if you want to reach out to us, we're easy to find at hello@leanpub.com. And you can contact us on social media and stuff like that as well. If you go to the leanpub.com website, you'll find links to kind of events that we're kind of holding now to help onboard authors and talk about what we know and share our knowledge and things like that. Yeah, and as always, there is also a blog post accompanying this video so that you can find a resource that's a sort of static resource with helpful images and links and stuff like that that you can use. You can find the blog post on our blog at leanpub.com/blog. If you don't find, as I always like to say, if you don't find the article that I'm showing here right away, you can just click the little magnifying glass at the top right, and you will go to a search thing where you can type in the keywords that you're finding here, like minimal editor and stuff like that. And you should be able to find the article or the blog post very easily that way, and click the links to anything sort of helpful and useful, although there will probably be links to helpful things probably in the YouTube description as well. So with that said, let's do a little countdown, 3, 2, 1. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 2-minute mark of this Lean Publishing Tip of the Day live stream. Today, I'm very excited to be talking to you about our new, what we call our minimal editor. You can find the blog post that I'm sharing here on our blog at leanpub.com/blog. And if you can't find it, click on the magnifying glass and just do a sort of ordinary search. So on Leanpub, the sort of brief introduction to Leanpub is a self-publishing platform for people who write and sell books. And it's kind of magical. You can write a book on Leanpub, and you can export it in PDF and EPUB formats, and people can also read it online when they buy it. They can get it on our new iOS app on iPhone and iPad and stuff like that. They can have their whole library of Leanpub books in their pocket, and your book can be in there too if you sell one to them, sell a copy to them. And so the really magical thing about Leanpub is that we've kind of linked writing the book to publishing the book. So the bookstore and the writing tools are combined, which a lot of very cool things drop out of that. Leanpub books are really easy to update. So for example, if you've published a version of your book and you find a typo, you can just easily change it and click the publish button and publish a new version. And that change, that update, that fix is out there to everyone who's already bought your book and everyone who's out there buying your book right now, and everyone who buys it in the future. So this idea of combining writing, the tool you're using to write your book, and the store that you're publishing it on is a very powerful thing. Now, in the past, Leanpub writing modes originally, and oh, by the way, I should mention we also have an upload writing mode. So if you've written if you like your own processes, a way of producing PDFs or EPUBs or ebook files, and you've got it on your own, you can still use Leanpub and all our amazing bookstore features. You just choose our upload writing mode when you're creating a book. But we do have writing modes, and the Leanpub kind of basically, without going into too many technical details, Leanpub was created by programmers. Programmers write programs in something called plain text. And so Leanpub's early writing modes were all plain text. Later on, we tried a few experiments with various things. Eventually, we came up with something that we call our visual editor, which is kind of like you would imagine, like if you're using any kind of word processing thing like Microsoft Word or Pages or something like that. It's kind of like that, except it's got way more. It's got all these kind of complex features, complex in the good sense that if you're doing something book related, like building indexes and stuff like that, making tables, things like that, we make it really easy to do that. But it's kind of like it's got a fair amount of complexity, which is great for book publishers, for professionals, for people who are really into book publishing, for people who have more complex book projects. Like so many Leanpub books are, technical books about technical subjects that might have technical diagrams and stuff like that. They might have, programming code samples if it's a programming book, stuff like that. So the visual editor is like has kind of everything you could hope for if you were publishing a book on, like, you using kind of anything that you need in the sort of tools in the book publishers and book producers toolkit. But that's plain text, visual editor, all this kind of stuff has always been, relatively complicated. I mean, our kind of running joke is that, or my running joke, I should say, is that, one of the funny things is people complain about, no, not complain, but they observe as soon as I even start talking about Leanpub, that sounds complicated. And it's like, nothing could be more complicated than Word. Basically, it's kind of like using a fighter jet to, drive to the corner store. There's like mail merge and stuff like that in there. So if you're using Microsoft Word, you're actually already using a pretty complicated, desktop publishing tool. You're definitely, kind of, knowledgeable enough and capable enough to use Leanpub in its ordinary visual modes. But we have always wanted a simpler way of doing things. I personally have long wanted this as well. And because most book projects, particularly novels, don't involve anything complicated at all. There's chapter headings and then there's paragraphs, and that's it. Most novels won't even have italics or bold or anything like that, or underline and stuff like that. So, and if you're familiar with others with sort of online publishing platforms, particularly the ones that are popular with people who want to write serial fiction on their phones or fan fiction on their phones and stuff like that, those editors for writing books are dead easy. And so, what we've done is we've created a minimal editor to kind of be like that. This also, this motive to have a minimal editor and something simple to use, also comes from the fact that we're very excited. We recently released our new iOS app for iPhone and iPad. So if you have an iPhone or an iPad, please go download our app from the App Store. Just search for Leanpub. You'll get your whole Leanpub. If you're a Leanpub reader, you'll get your Leanpub library in your pocket. If you're a Leanpub author, though, it also means you can write and manage your books on your phone as well, or your iPad, which is very exciting. So please check that out. And it's a brand new app, but we had one from years ago, and so there's some sort of not so very good ratings from that one. So if you could submit some ratings and reviews of our app, we'd really appreciate that. But to get back to the minimal editor, so let me just show you live how it works. So to create a Leanpub book, go to leanpub.com. Click on the little avatar at the top right. If you're not signed in, you'll have to create an account when you create the book, but that's very easy. So here I am. I just click create a book in the menu, and I'm just going to call this, demo visual editor. Let's get that right. As always, when you create a Leanpub book, you can, let's call this, let's give it a date. You can change the title later, and you can change the book URL that we suggest for you and stuff like that. So don't be too concerned about getting all those details right here. The really interesting thing about this now is, so when you go to create a book, you can see that we've got the upload writing mode here. So if you're like, professional or sort of like an experienced self-published author, and you've already got your own EPUB or PDF files, and you're just trying out Leanpub, and maybe you've been on KDP, Amazon KDP or something like that, or Ingram Spark, and you want to try our bookstore, the upload mode might be the right way to start for you. But when it comes to our own writing modes, when you're going to be writing your book on Leanpub, we have three options: minimal, visual, and source. So source is basically, I was saying earlier on that, a lot of Leanpub authors were programmers at the beginning and still are now, text often. So that's source. If you want to write a book in plain text, and then you type the format markup right in there. So, if you want something to be in italics, you put it in asterisks. If you want it in bold, you put it in double asterisks, things like that. We call our markup syntax that we made for books Markua, obviously inspired by Markdown, if you know what that is. If you don't know what any of that is, you might want to try the visual editor, which is the one that's currently suggested by or selected by default. This is basically for more, as we say in the description there, for more richly formatted books. Books with, like, lots of images and complex structure and stuff like that, maybe lots of sections and subsections and subsections of subsections and stuff like that. So you will want the visual editor if that's what you're doing. But what I'm talking about today is our very exciting new minimal editor. So if you click minimal, this is what we call a distraction-free editor for prose first books. Distraction-free is kind of a loaded thing in the context of Leanpub. We've long taken the position that when you're writing your book, formatting is a form of procrastination. That's because we love formatting and we're great procrastinators. But when you're writing, you should be focused on writing. You shouldn't be thinking about your formatting unless you're writing a kind of art book or something like that where the formatting is actually there's a unity of form and content or something like that, or where the kind of visual kind of presentation of it is very important to you as part of the meaning of the book or that you're writing, or use that's going to be made of it. But bracketing that, writing is writing, whether it's on like a notepad or a legal pad, or on a blackboard or a whiteboard, or whatever. It should be, the writing process shouldn't involve formatting. So let me just show off our minimal editor. I've selected it. All I got to do is click next because I'm signed into a Leanpub account. And boom, here we go. So what we're looking at right now is the editor. This is where you're writing your book, right here. The little progress bar at the top is actually generating a preview of this book in PDF and EPUB format right automatically. So you're going to get like a kind of copy of your very own ebook right away, available for you to download and look at. It will be based on the default content, which is just this. This is it. So the chapter name, the very first line at the top of a file like this in your visual editor is the chapter title. That's all automatically taken care of for you in the table of contents that's going to be produced from the book, etc. This is just your chapter title. Then you type paragraphs. And then you'll see these little tools on the top here. There aren't that many, which is very much on purpose. If you want to, we've got the normal kind of bold and italic. We've got the normal link. You can create kind of quotes, which sort of set things aside. This is, I would say more of a kind of blog post thing typically than a book thing. But for textbooks and nonfiction, certain kinds of nonfiction books, these kinds of little kind of quotes or asides, etc., are actually very useful and very common. So you can do that very easily with one click. If you want to click one of these little section kind of things, you click on the asterisk thing up here. And what I clicked here just now is making a section. Arguably, that's not very minimal to actually have section headers, but for a lot of nonfiction books, that's going to be an important part of what's going on there. So you can actually add section headers. You can add quotes, bold, italic, links, and one really cool thing. So if you've used Leanpub before, what I'm about to do is going to blow your mind, which is in our minimal editor, you can just take an image and you can drag it onto the minimal editor, and boom, there you go. You've got an image in your book. This is actually really amazing compared to the way we've done things in the past. This is actually a very incredible kind of feature. If you want to add an image, you can also just do the ordinary kind of click the little image icon, and it'll give you a chooser and stuff like that. But yeah, being able to click and drag images onto your book is really just amazing. The book, there is a little folder icon at the top left here, which is where you can, if you want to, you can add a new chapter. Just click the little plus sign, go into the chapter, call it chapter 2, blah. And if you click here, you'll see that the chapter title is automatically the chapter title in your list of files. You can easily delete it. You can easily click and drag them to change the order, which is really great. And you just click back in here to go to the editor. If you want to create a preview of your book, you just go to versions and you click create preview, which will create the PDF and EPUBs, which you can then download from here. And when you want to publish your book, you just go to the publish page, which is here, and you click the button to publish your book, and that's it. If and when you're kind of fully, and by the way, we encourage you to publish in progress and stuff like that, publish serially, things like that. And yeah, when you're done writing your book, we've got a print ready PDF option if you have a paid account, and you can just go ahead and click a button and get what you need for Amazon KDP. So that is our minimal editor. We're really excited about it. It's the easiest way ever to create a book on Leanpub, write a book on Leanpub, self-publish a book on Leanpub, and sell it, and then go selling it. It's really amazing. Please try it out, and please let us know if you have any feedback or anything like that. So thanks very much, everyone, for watching this live stream today.